Death is a topic that has fascinated and frightened humanity for centuries. For many, especially those in their later years or facing serious illness, the question of what happens after death becomes more than just curiosity. It becomes deeply personal and urgent. Edgar Cayce, known as the Sleeping Prophet, offered insights that have quietly changed the way many view this inevitable passage. His calm, clear explanations invite listeners to consider death not as an end, but as a meaningful transition. Casey's perspective is grounded in years of meditative trance readings, where he described what the soul experiences after leaving the body. According to him, death is not sudden or frightening. It is a gentle awakening. Imagine drifting from a deep sleep into a new realm where pain and confusion give way to clarity and calm. This transition, he explained, is natural and peaceful. Nothing like the harsh images many fear. For those who worry about the final moments, Casey's words provide reassurance. The spirit detaches slowly and with ease, much like waking up after a restful night. There is no sharp break, no darkness swallowing the light. Instead, the soul begins to perceive life from a different vantage point, a place beyond the physical senses, but still full of consciousness and awareness. What makes this teaching so important is its simplicity and honesty. Cayce did not promise a perfect paradise or threaten eternal punishment. Instead, he described a process that is deeply personal and governed by the individual's own soul. This perspective can reduce anxiety and open a door to acceptance for those who face the unknown. The fear of death often comes from not knowing what to expect. Cayce believed that ignorance fuels this fear and that understanding the journey ahead could transform how people live their final years. If the soul continues after the body's death, if love and learning carry on beyond this life, then the end is not something to dread, but a passage to prepare for with dignity. He urged people, especially the elderly and those nearing the end of life, to reflect honestly on their experiences, to forgive, to give thanks, to find peace within themselves. This preparation is not about religious rituals or external judgments, but about clearing the heart and mind so the soul can depart lightly. Unresolved pain, grudges, and regrets only weigh down the spirit and complicate the transition. Another essential truth Cayce shared is that death does not isolate us. He described reunions with loved ones who have passed before, silent, heartfelt meetings where recognition comes not through sight or sound, but through deep emotional connection. This reunion offers comfort, especially for those who fear loneliness in death. Time itself behaves differently beyond the physical world. Seconds can stretch into what feels like an eternity, while what seems like years might pass in the blink of an eye. The soul moves by intention rather than clock time. This means that the pace of the journey is personal. Some souls linger, reflecting on their life or preparing for what comes next, while others move swiftly forward. Cayce's teachings gently encourage us to let go of fear, to embrace the mystery with openness, and to prepare by living fully and truthfully. He believed that the more aware and peaceful one is before death, the smoother the crossing will be. For anyone grappling with these thoughts, Cayce's message is a balm, a clear, compassionate voice inviting them to see death as part of a greater journey. It is a call to live with gratitude, to forgive freely, and to carry love as the greatest treasure. In this way, death loses its sting, and the unknown becomes a path illuminated by hope. When the soul begins to separate from the physical body, it embarks on a journey unlike any other, a passage filled with wonder, reflection, and new awareness. Edgar Cayce described this transition as gentle and peaceful, not sudden or painful. Imagine the experience as slowly waking from a deep sleep, where consciousness returns softly and naturally. Many who approach the end of their life wonder, what will I feel? Will it hurt? Will I be scared or confused? Cayce's teachings provide answers that bring comfort. He explained that the soul does not experience sharp pain or disorientation. Instead, it detaches with a clarity and calmness, aware that it is still alive, but in a different way. This new state of being is difficult to describe using ordinary words because it transcends physical senses. Sight, sound, and touch as we know them no longer apply. Instead, the soul perceives through emotions, intentions, and pure awareness. It is like seeing the world through the heart rather than the eyes. Time itself behaves differently here. A single moment can stretch into what feels like an eternity, while what seems like years might pass in the blink of an eye. The soul moves by intention and desire, not by the ticking of a clock. This means that the pace of the journey is personal. Some souls linger, reflecting on their life or preparing for what comes next, while others move swiftly forward. Many report a feeling of lightness during this transition, as if a heavy weight has been lifted. The physical body, with its aches and limitations, is left behind, and the soul feels free. It's common to sense a vast openness, a space filled with peace and possibility. During this time, the soul begins to ask questions, not out of fear, but out of curiosity and reflection. What did my life mean? Did I love enough? Have I made peace with myself and others? These questions guide the soul toward deeper understanding and healing. Cayce's descriptions help us imagine this journey with familiar feelings. For example, many compare the experience to stepping through a doorway into a new world, a world where familiar memories and emotions come alive, and where lessons from life become clearer. The soul also senses the presence of spiritual guides and loved ones who have passed before. These guides offer gentle support and help the soul navigate this unfamiliar territory. For those who doubted or feared death, this assistance is a tender reassurance that no one is truly alone. Cayce's vision contrasts sharply with images of fear and punishment often portrayed in popular culture. Instead, the soul's journey is one of love, learning, and growth. It is a continuation of the life story, not a sudden, final end. For those preparing for this transition, Cayce encouraged cultivating peace and awareness while still alive. Mindfulness, forgiveness, and gratitude create a lighter energy that smooths the soul's passage. The idea that the soul can move with intention and at its own pace invites us to release worries about rushing or delays. There is no right speed, only the natural unfolding of each unique journey. In practical terms, this means that each soul's experience is personal and valid. Some may feel a joyful anticipation, others a quiet contemplation. All are steps toward greater understanding. Through these teachings, Cayce offers a hopeful vision. The soul's journey beyond the body is not a plunge into darkness, but a passage into light, an awakening filled with possibility, love, and peace. This understanding encourages us to embrace the unknown with gentle curiosity and to prepare our hearts for a journey of continued growth and connection. One of the most touching experiences Edgar Cayce described after the soul leaves the body is the life review, a deeply personal journey where the soul reflects on its earthly existence. But unlike the fearsome judgment many imagine, this review is filled with compassion and understanding. The soul relives moments not as a punishment, but to truly feel the love given and the lessons learned. Imagine a grandmother named Helen. She spent her life caring for her family, often sacrificing her own needs. As she faced her final moments, Helen feared what lay ahead. But after crossing over, she found herself wrapped in warmth, not coldness or fear. During her life review, Helen re-experienced the joy of her children's laughter, the pain of missed opportunities, and the countless small acts of kindness she thought unnoticed. This reflection wasn't to condemn her, but to help her understand the depth of her impact on others. Following this profound self-examination, the soul is greeted by those who have passed before, family members, dear friends, and loved ones. This reunion is silent yet powerful, filled with recognition that transcends physical form. These encounters bring immediate relief and joy to the newly departed soul, reminding them that love never truly dies. A story shared by a hospice nurse, Laura, illustrates this beautifully. She recounted the final moments of a man named Robert, who was surrounded by his family. After Robert's passing, his daughter described feeling a sudden, inexplicable calm. Later, she shared that Robert had told her about seeing his late wife holding his hand as he crossed over, a presence so vivid and loving that it brought him peace. Such experiences, Laura said, are common and show that these reunions provide comfort both to those passing and to those they leave behind. The essence of these meetings is not physical sight or sound, but emotional and spiritual connection. The soul recognizes loved ones by the feelings of love and acceptance, not by familiar faces or voices. This recognition helps the soul avoid feeling lost or isolated in the new realm. Instead, it is embraced and guided gently. For many elderly individuals, this vision of reunion offers profound hope. The fear of loneliness in death is replaced by the promise of being welcomed and supported. It also provides reassurance to families that their departed loved ones are cared for and not truly gone. Cayce's descriptions challenge the common notion that death is a final separation. Instead, it is a continuation of relationships in a different form, one that deepens bonds rather than breaks them. True love, he explained, creates eternal bridges between souls. These spiritual connections are not limited to immediate family. Many report feeling the presence of childhood friends, mentors, or even pets who have passed. This wide circle of spiritual companionship underscores the vast and loving community that awaits each soul. Witnesses of near-death experiences often share similar stories. They speak of life reviews filled with vivid memories and of meeting loved ones who greet them with warmth and acceptance. These accounts align with Cayce's teachings and add weight to the hope that death is not an ending, but a transition into love. The life review also serves as a teaching moment. The soul understands the consequences of its actions, not through harsh judgment, but through empathetic insight. This clarity inspires growth and prepares the soul for future journeys, whether in new lives or realms of existence. Cayce's gentle words offer comfort and inspire those who face the end of life to see beyond fear. The reunion and review processes reveal that love is the core of existence, continuing to shape and support the soul. in this light, death becomes not a dreaded moment, but a meaningful passage filled with love, reflection, and reunion. This understanding can ease the heart, quiet the mind, and bring peace to those preparing for their next step. As the soul prepares for its final journey, Edgar Cayce emphasized that the most important preparation is not physical, but spiritual. The heart and mind must be ready, not through ritual or ceremony, but through love, forgiveness, and letting go. These qualities, he taught, lighten the soul and open the way for a peaceful transition. Love, in Cayce's vision, is the greatest force in the universe. It is not just an emotion, but a powerful energy that connects souls across time and space. True love frees the soul. It does not bind or trap. This is different from attachment, which clings to past hurts, regrets, or possessions, creating invisible chains that weigh the spirit down. For many elderly people and those facing their final days, this distinction is crucial. Cayce encouraged them to gently release attachments, not out of abandonment, but from a place of gratitude and understanding. To remember loved ones not as losses, but as blessings that continue to live in the heart. Letting go does not mean forgetting. Instead, it means transforming grief into a loving presence. Each cherished memory becomes a candle that lights the path ahead, rather than an anchor holding one back. This shift helps the soul move forward with grace. Practical actions support this inner work. Cayce advised simple steps: offering forgiveness to those who caused pain, asking forgiveness from those we may have hurt, and expressing gratitude daily. These acts do not need grand gestures. Sometimes, a heartfelt phone call, a sincere apology, or a quiet moment of reflection is enough. For those struggling with guilt or regret, these small steps can be revolutionary. They help clear the heart's burdens and prepare the soul for a lighter, more peaceful departure. Cayce reminded listeners that no one is perfect. Making mistakes is part of learning. What matters most is the willingness to heal and grow. Gratitude, Cayce said, is one of the soul's most powerful allies. Recognizing the blessings, big or small, nurtures a peaceful spirit. It turns attention away from what is lost or broken toward what is whole and beautiful. This focus creates an energy that supports the soul's journey. Cayce's teachings also highlighted the importance of compassion, not only for others, but also for oneself. Self-forgiveness allows the soul to release harsh self-judgment and embrace its inherent worth. This acceptance is key to moving forward. Beyond individual practice, Cayce encouraged fostering love in relationships still alive. Reconnecting with family, sharing stories, and expressing affection strengthen bonds and provide comfort for all involved. These moments build a legacy of love that endures beyond the physical world. He also advised embracing silence and reflection. Quiet moments allow the soul to connect deeply with itself, fostering awareness and peace. Meditation, prayer, or simply sitting in stillness can help nurture this inner calm. For the elderly and seriously ill, this inner preparation offers profound hope. It shows that the journey toward death is not one of fear, but of growth and healing. The soul can approach the transition with dignity and lightness when supported by love and forgiveness. In this way, Cayce's message becomes a guide, not only for what happens after death, but for how to live well until then. Preparing the soul is about living with intention, kindness, and gratitude. The power of love and the grace of letting go transform the end of life into a sacred passage. They free the soul to move onward with peace and clarity, supported by the connections forged in life. Edgar Cayce's teachings gently remind us that death is not an end, but a transformation, a passage to a new beginning. This understanding invites us to live our remaining days with presence, gratitude, and peace. For those stepping into life's final chapters, especially the elderly and those with serious illnesses, Cayce's message offers hope. It encourages embracing each moment with openness to forgive freely and to cherish the love that remains. Death is not a sudden loss or a fearful end. Instead, it is a meaningful passage where the soul, carrying the lightness of forgiveness and gratitude, moves forward with clarity and calm. This shift in perspective helps focus on the present rather than the unknown. It calls us to release regrets and live authentically, knowing every truthful choice builds a bridge to what lies ahead. Cayce also emphasized that no one departs alone. True love continues to connect souls, offering comfort and guidance beyond the physical world. These bonds provide strength for those preparing to cross and solace for those left behind. For those who feel time slipping away quickly, this teaching is an invitation to slow down, breathe deeply, and find peace within, to prepare not by fearing death, but by embracing life with an open heart. The legacy we leave is not material, but made of love shared, forgiveness granted, and the lightness we carry forward. This understanding can calm restless minds and warm anxious hearts. Cayce's words close with a profound truth. Life continues beyond the body, and the soul's journey is one of growth, connection, and hope. For anyone facing the end of life, this message offers a gentle hand to hold, a light in the darkness, and an invitation to meet the future with courage and grace.